Alabama cooking. We are making Mongolian beef, followed kind of like the P.F. Chang one. Now, it could be a copycat. I get scared of saying stuff is a copycat because if it don't taste quite right, then, you know, you'd be disappointed. But it's kind of like P.F. Chang Mongolian beef. That works. Come on in the kitchen, guys. Let's cook. So, family, we're going to make Mongolian beef. Now, the cool part is Mongolian beef uses flank steak. And flank steak is something that's very plentiful, especially in good weather, but you can always find a flank steak. This is a 2-pound flank, and this recipe can work for 1 pound or 2 pounds. I have a big family, so I tend to make more. What you want to start by doing is cutting the meat across the grain, right? So if you notice when you have a flank steak, right? See here? This is the grain. It's going this way. See that? Okay? You want to cut it against the grain. Hold your knife at a slight angle and you're going to just make thin slices. Now, what's very important is that your meat is cold when you cut it, okay? A lot of times when you're cooking beef and things like that, you want to get it, or meat in general, you want to get it to room temperature. But in this case, you actually want it cold because cutting it cold is much easier than cutting it at room temperature. You're going to cut these in thin slices. You see how I'm cutting this? Just about like this. See that? Okay? And then I'm going to go back after I slice the whole thing and cut them in half to make them into smaller pieces that'll fit in our mouth without us having to look like we shoved a bunch of beef in our mouth. All right. See, just from the meat being out while I'm cutting it, it started getting softer and thus a little more difficult to cut. See, this is what you want to end up with. You see these pieces here? Just like this. These are perfect pieces for Mongolian beef. And if this is considered too big for you, you can cut it. Just know that once we cook it, it's going to shrink a little bit anyway, okay? So we're going to switch gears here a little bit, guys. I'm going to take this pot and we're going to start heating this pot with a little bit of olive oil. We don't need a ton of olive oil. You can use vegetable oil or canola oil. Honestly, any oil will do. But I'm just using a little bit of olive oil because it's easier. You don't need a ton, okay? Just a little bit in there. And I'm going to take this beef that I've cut and I'm going to put it into this bowl, okay? So here is our meat in our bowl. And here I've got about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of cornstarch. This is important. You want cornstarch. If you don't have cornstarch, fine, use flour, but this is really a cornstarch recipe because of the way the cornstarch will bring the sauce together. All right, so I'm going to dump this cornstarch right here, okay, in with my beef. And I'm going to start just mixing it around, making sure that all of the beef gets coated with this cornstarch. Now, cornstarch is kind of tricky because it's, what'd you say, thicker or more pasty, or thicker, pastier than flour. So you got to be a little careful with it because it's messy, y'all. But it does a wonderful thickening up sauces and whatnot. All right, see here, we're putting this all over our meat. Can you see that? And we're doing that while our skillet is heating up here. I've got a nice big skillet because I'm gonna cook the meat in this. And then after I cook the meat in this, I'm gonna remove the meat, cook the sauce, and then add the meat back. All right. This recipe does not have a lot of ingredients. While we let this meat finish absorbing all of this cornstarch, I'll just let you see we've got brown sugar and soy sauce. We've got a little more cornstarch here. We'll probably make a slurry to thicken up the sauce a little bit of water, of course, green onions, some garlic paste and ginger paste, and I've also got some red pepper flakes. Now, the red pepper flakes are optional. We'll talk about that as we get going. And for the garlic paste and the ginger, if you don't have paste, you can always just use chopped garlic and chopped ginger, or minced garlic and minced ginger. Okay, now that we've got this meat nice and ready here and our oil is hot, I'm gonna test one piece first. Yes, it's sizzling, baby. Good thing about this meat is there's not a high fat content on here, so you're not gonna get a lot of fat rendered, which will actually help you when you go to cook the other portions of our sauce. So I'm just gonna lay this down. You're gonna cook this meat in batches. Don't dump it all in there at once. It's not gonna turn out like you want if you do that, okay? I'm just warning you because I don't want you to be disappointed. And turn the fan on. And you know what, guys? After I get this meat in, this first batch, I'm gonna go put on an apron because I am not trying to mess up my clothes. I like this shirt. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like my shirt? Thank you. And I'm not trying to mess it up. So I'm gonna put this in here. And then I'm gonna go put on an apron because sometimes this meat pops. All right. You need to add a little more oil in there at some point. That's to be expected, and that is fine. And look at that. See, just look, there you go. I'll be back, y'all. I'm going to get an apron, family. I'm not trying to mess my clothes up. I want to be cute for the video and everything. I'm sure y'all understand. Okay, here's our meat cooking up. See, I have not overcrowded my pan. That's on purpose, okay? Again, we're not going to try to cook the meat all the way. We're just going to really try to get some nice color on it and flip it. You see how it pops? This is why I put my apron on. I don't want my shirt messed up. See that? And again, we're not cooking the meat all the way, okay? Here we go. Don't feel tempted to add extra oil unless you need it, okay? You will need some oil because it will absorb, the meat will, but don't just get excited and start adding grease, okay? There we go. And as we finish cooking, as the meat finishes cooking almost all the way, I'm gonna put it in this bowl and set it to the side. All right, guys, now that our meat has finished cooking, well, part cooking, right? It's almost done. I'm gonna take the same skillet because I want that flavor. I added a little more olive oil to it, and I'm gonna add some garlic and ginger paste. Now, if you don't have garlic and ginger paste, that's okay, all right? You can just chop up some garlic or chop up some ginger or mince it, and you can put that in. You can also get it from a jar or however you want to use it. I like the paste. My store has it. I don't really have much else to say about it. Okay, and then we're just gonna kind of let this roam around till you start to smell it. Just like you saw, it's gonna hit you. And then when it hits you, what you wanna do, we're gonna add in our soy sauce. Okay, I'm gonna turn my heat back on. I had turned my heat off, y'all, because this thing got hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna add in some soy sauce and brown sugar. Equal parts of soy sauce and brown sugar. So that will help you determine how much sauce you need. I'm using a cup of each, okay? But you might need more depending on how much sauce you're making and depending on the size of your family. It's all about you and yours, y'all. All right, we're gonna stir this together, and we want this to come to a boil and make sure that the sugar dissolves. You will notice that I did not season my meat. And I know y'all were like, Chef Lorious, you always say you gotta season your meat, and as a general rule, yes you do. However, in this dish, soy sauce is really, really salty, okay? And you're gonna get so much flavor in this sauce that if you actually put flavor or seasoning on your meat, you would probably overdo it. And I'm even using low sodium, okay? So even with low sodium, you guys, this is really, there's just a ton of flavor in the soy sauce and the brown sugar together. If it's not enough for you, add some salt. I ain't gonna talk about you, I get it, but I'm just saying, trust your girl on some things if you're so inclined. All right, you see how this is coming to a boil? I'm gonna let this boil for just a couple minutes. It thickens up a little bit. There we go. And just to cut down on a little bit of the flavor, we're gonna add just about a little, cut back on the saltiness. We're gonna add about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of water, just regular water. Again, not enough to take the flavor out, just to help kind of tame it. Trust me. While that's boiling, I've got my cornstarch slurry ready. And this is just about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and a little bit of water. And you just want to mix them together. And once this is boiling and everything is together, you slowly pour this in and your sauce will thicken up just a little bit more. Now, I don't know if they do this part at P.F. Chang's, y'all. This is the Calabama part, because you know we be turning sauces into gravies around here. Yes, I said we be. Okay, because that's how we roll. But this little slurry right here is exactly, it's all you need. It's exactly what you need. Just a couple tablespoons of cornstarch and some water. You don't want to do a ton of water because it'll dilute the cornstarch too much. So just a little bit like that, okay? We're gonna set that aside. Here's our sauce continuing to boil. Oh, it smells like P.F. Chang's, y'all. Okay, I've let this sauce go for a few minutes, and I'm going to now add back my beef. And remember, when we cooked this beef, we didn't cook it 100% done. We just cooked it almost all the way done. So as we put it into this sauce, the meat will finish cooking and it will absorb the flavor. Now I'm going to turn it down just a wee bit, you guys, because I don't want it to get too excited. The beef is excited to get in here. It's like, what? This is what we were doing? And I'm like, yeah, y'all. This is what we were doing. Okay. And this was a different bowl, you guys, from the first one I used, because I know y'all were like, she did not put that cooked beef back in the bowl with that. No, I didn't. Okay. Now you want to let this come to a boil so that the meat can finish cooking in the sauce. And as it's boiling is when we'll go and add our cornstarch slurry. This is coming to a nice boil. And again, these are thin strips of beef, so it doesn't take a long time. Now that we've got a good boil, we're going to add in a little of our cornstarch slurry. And we're going to start slow. About half, okay? And then you want to mix it around because the action of the boiling is what's going to activate the cornstarch to thicken up the sauce. All right, and in the last few moments while that's cooking, we're going to take our fresh cut green onions and sprinkle them in. Save some for the top. It's a lovely garnish. And if you want to use red pepper flakes, okay, if you want to, this is a point at which you would sprinkle them in. And I say that because, you know, sometimes when I make this, I don't like to make it really hot, but I'm just going to sprinkle just a couple, and that's it. That's it. There's more on the side. You can use it as a garnish. And look how beautiful this dish is coming together. Look at that. That even look like the P.F. Chang one, don't it, y'all? All right, I'm going to turn this heat off. See how that sauce is pulling away? So, oh, that's beautiful. Okay, we're going to take this off the heat. We're going to get our plate of rice and serve it up, and we're ready to eat. Here I've got a nice plate of white rice, cooked white rice, brown rice, fried rice. Rice is rice, honey. Pickle rice, any rice. Y'all know? Okay. And we're going to go in and look. See how that's nice and, oh, it's glossy and shiny even. Oh, that looks delicious. I cannot wait to dig in. Look at that. My family loves this. My kids thought they didn't like Mongolian barbecue until I made it. And now they're like, oh, Mom. I'm like, yeah, I know. Look, see, I'm just going to garnish with a little bit of that onion. I'm not going to put the red peppers on it this time. Well, okay, just a couple. Just for picture. See, look at that. You can't even taste it. Just makes it look pretty. And you guys, this is absolutely beautiful. I'm going in. I got a perfect piece right here. This piece says, come to me, Lore. Oh. This is so good. I'm telling you. I'm almost scared to call it a copycat. Because you might say that don't taste like it, but it do to me. Thanks for joining me so much, fam. Appreciate having you. I'll see you next time right here in the Love Lab for more Calabama cooking with me, Chef Lorious. Happy cooking.